What's up, people? It's your boy Joshua. I'm here today. We're all still in isolation, but you know what? I figured today is a good day to jump back in KSP because I wanted to try a little something. And this is not something I haven't done before, but there's a bit of a difference you'll see with the wheels. They are actually centered, and I'm not using any offset mass for this because I've just adjusted the COM of the config file, so why not? I guess I need to show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is what we are looking at right now. Oh, this is set to the wrong... No, not you. Yes, you. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. I went into Blender and I imported the TR2, and this is the ruggedized wheel. And in here, let's just hide this plane that we have here. This is what it looks like when you import the move file. And you'll see right now the center is actually over here. I'm just kind of butchering everything I was doing there. The center is here. This is the point of origin. So if you have this point of origin, you know, you can come back here, you can snap, go back here, you can snap your cursor to your selected, and then you can take your plane and, you know, you can do the same thing, move your selection to your cursor, and that's going to drop you off right there. And this is going to be your source point. And as you move back, GX, you can move back. We're going to move back on the G plane, and we're going to go GX -4. Except for I didn't do that right. This GX, and then you slide it back, and you'll see when we get around -4, and I can just come here and set this exactly to 4. That is going to be where our center of mass currently is. And I believe this is because they needed for it to be on that pivot point. But if we are doing a motorcycle, we kind of want it to be centered on the wheel, so that way it doesn't look offset. And we don't have any motorcycle wheels. That would be great, squad, by the way. I tried to make one, but I suck. So what I did is I saw that they had this here, and I really didn't look too much. It is the suspension over here. If you look, it's the suspension pivot. So this is where it's turning. So I figured if I could, why don't I just take this, which is already set, and if we highlight this, we can then go to object, and using what we know already, move our selection, our cursor to our selected, and then we can go and select this object once again and move our selection to our cursor. That's going to give us our new point, and that's the point where we want to move our center of mass to, and that happens to be X on -0.746. So what we do from here is we go to the config file, and in the config file right here, you'll see here, this is the normal config file. I do this for testing, and then I'll probably drop it into Module Manager as a separate part altogether, so that way I'm not editing their actual files. But then you can come here and you'll see center of mass offset. Now I've already entered in my values here. You can see right here, this is the original. This just comments it out, so that way it doesn't have multiple values. But this allows me to see what the original value was. And so what you're seeing here is it was set to -0.4, as I was mentioning before, and -0.1 on the, so this is X, Y, and then Z, or Z for whoever else is out there across the drink. And over here is my updated values, -0.746, and of course, comma, -0.1. That remains the same. So we don't want to change any of these other values, just our X values, so we center our mass directly mid-wheel. So when we center our wheels, it looks like a motorcycle. You dig? Alright, so let's jump back to the game and show you what this all looks like while since I'm done rambling. That was a lot of work. So this is the craft I've created. Nothing here is actually offset except for the wheel connection over to center of the craft, which comes out looking pretty decent. All I'd have to do is add in some parts to add the forks on either side, and that would look pretty good to me. So let's take it back, revert to the space plane hanger. Let's take a look at our center of mass, and you'll see right here, it is dead center of our craft. This is beautiful because it lets you make some really awesome motorcycle designs. Another thing I'll probably do is if I'm redoing this, I'll probably shrink all the parts down to 6.25 or 0.325. So that way they're small enough to be motorcycle parts for a Kerbal instead of a giant motorcycle with a Kerbal, because yeah, that looks really wrong right now. It's just wrong. So if we wanted, we can go ahead and build our forks. So now we have some decent forks on the front and back. Alright, so here's our craft, and already it's tipping over, but since it's centered, we have pretty good control over it right now. It's not as good as using the grip pads as wheels, but it is better rolling. So let's go ahead and we're going to turn off steering here. We're just going to turn on traction control. Maybe I'll add some grip to these things or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's something I can do. Steering enabled. So let's go ahead and get this so it's somewhat stable. Get our brakes. And let's just let it teeter over to the side a bit. It shouldn't go too far. It's got some pretty good stopping right there due to our forks. Okay, so if we want to try to put grip pads on here, we can try to put the grip pad tech on here, and we're going to try to see if this might work. I have no clue if this is going to work or not, because it's going to apply to the entire thing, and this may be the worst idea I've ever had in my life, but we're going to try it anyway. This is the actual code that they use in the configuration files for the physics material that they use for grip pads. I have this one set to create a brand new giant sized well, I call it the huge grip strip and grip pad, because I really like the grip pads and the grip strips, and so I made a huge one so I could use them as aircraft carriers. But nonetheless, we're going to add this to here near the bottom. So we're just going to move this on down, and we're going to paste this on in, making sure that we retain our last end cap there. So as we look through here, this should not be like that. This should be to here, this should be to here, so we need to add one more just to make sure. And there you go, there's our end module. So this should match up all the way up top to this part. Part is encapsulated by all these two top and bottom ones. It's good to be in Notepad++ because you can catch that or you'll have an error. So this is just encapsulating that's here, and we should be good to go. And it should change the color when we go back and we begin to toy with things. Alright, so this is our new wheel, and you see here it looks quite rugged. Right now it's set to extreme grip, and we're going to see what happens. What terrible things happen when we try to use this. Nothing blew up, which is good. I don't see it actually causing any real difference, to tell you the truth. So we're just going to cut on our engines, and we're going to go forward, and hopefully good things happen here. So far, it's a little harder to control, to tell you the truth. Like, I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have put that grip pad on there, and maybe I should have like a wing, like a tail. But we're starting to stable out as we pick up speed. Whoa! Oh, no! No! Okay. Alright, we're safe. Luckily, these grip pads are pretty dang good. Whoa! Why don't I have caps lock on? Caps lock activated. Okay. There we go. Not exactly the most stable bike I've made in a long time, but the wheels are centered, and it makes me happy. Oh my god! Those jet engines are set to a little too high. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if I full throttle these jet engines. So right now they're limited to 30. We're gonna full throttle these things. Oh god! Oh god! Well, that's another Kerbal down. So I was playing around with the grip pads, and right now I have tweak scale uninstalled, so you're not going to really see how huge this thing can be. But this is actually created by Module Manager. So let's show you what potentially can happen in here, because sometimes these things explode in the most glorious of fashions. All right, and let's just throw a Kerbal on here, just cause. Just one Kerbal, just gonna be sitting on there, wondering what the heck I'm doing. This one, somewhat safe because I increased the mass on it. So if you don't increase the mass, it bounces everywhere. You increase the mass, it gets very heavy and you can't fly it anywhere. So there you go. So let's use vessel mover and see what's gonna happen if I land a craft right behind us. So let's spawn one in. We're gonna load it right here, and we're hopefully gonna place it on here without anything happening. Weight test. So what I wanted to do before was make sure that the weight wasn't going to be too much for the craft, and it looks like that might work. Let's do something funny because I want to see this really work. Atlas Laughed is going to be our craft, and this is going to cause some problems. We're gonna try to land this one here somehow. Alright, let's see what happens. Watch out, Jeb. Jeb, watch out. Jeb, move. Jeb, 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 Jeb. Is it holding? I can't do it. Oh my god. Holy crap. Okay, answer is somewhat. Oh god. Jeb, watch your head. Oh, so yeah, I expected something like that to happen. It's currently overloading my encoder. Alrighty. Well, if you like what you see, hit that like button, drop me in the comment, let me know what you think. It mostly survived. And I am impressed. My GPU does not like water effects, so I anticipated something really bad happening right there. But that was really interesting and fun. So I hope to get you guys in the next video. For now, this is your boy Kerbal. And we are out of here. Bart's still in here. But it mostly held. Not bad. Peace. Oh my goodness.